Hello there, Taylor with the Armageddon Report. So, there's a big, major US severe thunderstorm threat, which we're going to talk about first. Not first, later. First, we talk about Tropical Cyclone 4A is already gone, dissipated over land in Somalia. And then this thing, which there were spaghetti models for yesterday, but not even an outlook error from the JTWC, has gone from low to high to suddenly it's a tropical depression. So this thing, in fact, last time I hit the Pegasa website, no warnings, and they hadn't even called it a tropical depression. JMA is also calling this one a tropical depression now. So this thing is going to be as strong as apparently 52 miles per hour, which I think puts it at tropical storm status. Yeah, so it may well even be a tropical storm soon-ish, which means it will get a name. I don't remember which name is next there in the Northwest Pacific. However, this thing potentially even impacts to Vietnam in the future. However, it might be dissipating around that time. Something, obviously, if you're in Vietnam, to keep an eye on. But the spaghetti model's in fair agreement that it's going to track towards Vietnam, at least as of now. But yes, this thing that's been in vest all the way since way back out here to the east has turned into an actual official tropical cyclone in the form of a tropical depression. Yes, so that is what is happening in the world of tropical cyclones. Here's what's happening in the land of the US, nobody calls it that. Winter storm coming in, and ahead of the winter storm, severe thunderstorms. So let's jump on over that. So this is winter storms, all of that. Severe thunderstorms specifically, though. Texas and Louisiana are the ones on tap for tonight. Tomorrow as high as a 45. In fact, let's just go over the overview right now. Go back up here. So, there's high as a 45% chance tomorrow, Christmas Day, and then the day after, whoops, that's the wrong one. The day after, 30% chance, and also significant. So let's break it down. Here is what's going on today. So there's as high as a 15% chance of winds, 15% chance of hail, 5% chance of a tornado. However, at the moment, no meso-scale discussions, watches and warnings, so this is something apparently going to kick off later on. So this is the specific wind map for today. So this would be people who are in the zone or the threat area of seeing 58 mile per hour and greater winds. Here are the people in the threat area for seeing 1 inch or larger hail. And here are the people in the threat area for seeing a tornado of any size. So as high as a 5% over here, and then a 2% chance over in this area. So to break it down with the percentages here, what you do, the 5%, you draw a random point in Texas. And then you draw a 25-mile radius circle around it, and the 5% means that there's a 5% chance of a tornado occurring within any one of those random 25-mile radius circles. So that's the threat level for today. Tomorrow, all the way up to 45%. Not only that, but significant severe weather. Let's look at this. So this shows two different things. This shows the probability, so as high as a 45% in the purplish area. And then the black hatched area is where it could be strong tornadoes, which would be EF2 or larger on a scale that goes from EF0 to EF5. It could be 2 inch or larger hail, that's significant hail. It could be 75 mile per hour and greater winds as opposed to 58. Now, if you go into the text, which is tornado, and you search for the word tornado, you get the lovely, lovely sentence. The possibility exists for several long-track, strong tornadoes associated with any long-lived, fast-moving supercells, along with more widespread damaging winds along the most intense parts of the Boeing quasi-linear convective system. That's what QLCS is, I do believe. So if you are familiar with the term squall line, I think it's relatively synonymous. QLCS would be like, so instead of seeing like, I don't know, just a tiny supercell, a little discrete thing, what you see is like these huge lines of storms. That's like QLCS, quasi-linear convective system. And that's where you see like things like derecho type events where it's hundreds of miles of wind events. Those are fairly rare, but basically with the QLCS type things, you can see tornadoes. They tend to be weaker and short-lived. Doesn't mean that they are going to be, but it's generally the supercell, the discrete type storms. That's where you generally see the big monster tornadoes. But, you know, of course, widespread wind damage. That's nothing to you shouldn't ignore it. I can't think of the word, but don't ignore a damaging wind threat either. But so, significant severe weather events along with potentially long-tracked, strong tornadoes on Christmas Day. Who's going to be paying attention to this? This is one of the problems. It's winter, this is the Dixie Alley thing. Dixie Alley's tornado threat never really dies down. And then day 3, day after Christmas, also has a significant area. So, again, as high as a 30% chance of something happening. And then a black hatched area is where, again, it could be 75 mile per hour and greater winds. It might be 2 inches larger hail, or it could be EF2 or greater tornadoes. So what happens is tomorrow, Storm Prediction Center will break it down into the individual probabilities. And, day after Christmas, they will again have the individual probabilities for what's just some sort of threat now. We don't know specifically. However, I do believe, yes. Then a substantial tornado threat could also develop Wednesday afternoon with a potential for a strong tornado. So my uneducated guess is that Christmas Day, which is quite unfortunate, of course, is the day where the biggest tornado threat is. It sounds somewhat like day 3 is a lesser threat, but of course, that could increase, or, This is why you have to pay attention every single day. But on the plus side, day 4, starting December 28th, potential too low. So, or did I say 28th? The 27th, day 4, potential too low. So, after 3 days of, going through the ringer or whatnot, then it's going to be back down to normal-ish, which is then it's going to be all about winter storms, right? So, yes, this is the big thing to watch out. If you're in this area, you absolutely need to be paying attention either to the news or have a weather radio going or something. Because, it's not a fun thing. It's not good, is it? SevereWeatherTV.com is the official homepage of this screencast, though, yes. WickedWix is WICKEDWX.com. Cyclocane is CYCLOCANE.com. Let's put it on satellite. So there you go. There is Tropical Depression 27 out in the Northwest Pacific, who is already, looks like outer bands affecting the Philippines. That's it for today. Hopefully you're not affected by anything big this holiday season, right? So hopefully you are staying safe out there.